So oftentimes people are coming to you with a topic because they feel stuck, they feel frustrated, they have stress, they have anxiety, they have uncertainty, right? These are kind of the states, the survival state, right? A little bit of desperation that's in there, that's mixed in there. So so that's the first step, is knowing that they're coming to you with this pain point of how they're feeling, and you're working with them through that energy. And part of that in meditation coaching is understanding and showing your client, how are they holding this in their energy, in their psyche, in their consciousness. So they're holding it with like, dysregulated nervous system. It's chaotic, it's frenetic, right? It's got a rhythm to it. And so you're showing them, not just by saying you're dysregulated and you're anxious and you're stressed. We don't say that in meditation coaching, because that's also part of like a diagnosis. We don't necessarily have to say that to them. What we're doing is we're raising awareness that that's there. That's how they're feeling right now. I'm feeling anxious about this. And just by them voicing that, I'm feeling anxious about this. This is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling it right here in my solar plexus. It's all twisted and knotty. And I feel tense, and they're going to share that. And part of that is healing, is that they're sharing their awareness now of their inner state with you. And then you're leading them to, how do you prefer to feel about this? How do you want to feel? So you're creating a new pathway now of, here's a new way to be around this. This is a new way to hold this. You can hold this with confidence. You can hold this with trust. You can feel safe in this. You can calm down so your nervous system can get back. You can gain that coherence back through the brain and the heart and the body. So you are revealing to them through questions, reflection, and feedback how they are holding the situation. And how are you doing that? You're saying, so what thoughts come up when that's happening? What are your thoughts? You're having them express their thoughts. Okay, so these are their thoughts. Where did those thoughts come from? Well, those thoughts came from, when this happened when I was 5 years old, my mom said, da, 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 da. And I believed that if I stepped on a line, I was going to die. There's a story that's there. I believe that once I did that thing, if I didn't get an A, then I wasn't good and I wasn't worthy of being loved. If I didn't do everything, if I didn't please and I didn't try, and I didn't try to help everything and do everything, that I wasn't going to be loved, that I was going to be abandoned. So then now you're revealing some of the story that's there behind the stressor, because there's always a story behind the trigger, behind the stressor. There are thoughts, there are stories, there are beliefs, there are sensations that are coming up. And you're not necessarily telling them like point blank, like, you feel stressed because this happened. You're just showing them the relationship, the relationship, the interconnectedness behind the stress that they're feeling. And so every time they're faced with something that feels unknown, that feels, they don't know how to handle it, you know, they don't have the confidence and the security. So you're guiding them to this state, this inner state, by revealing the thoughts, the past experiences, the stories, the fears, and the beliefs. So what's the worst that could happen here? The worst that can happen behind everything is like this fear of dying or being diminished, right? Like it gets really dramatic with fears, like something really bad is going to happen beyond my control if this doesn't go a certain way. It's like some unknown big bad ugly monster is going to come over, take over. It sounds dramatic, but usually there's something big behind it. So we let it out of the bag. We call it out, we bring it out. We walk with them to the closet, we open it up and say there's no big bad ugly monster that's there. The worst that could happen is maybe you're out $500 or this, this person's disappointed. You kind of find out what is that thing that is really that has power over you, that has power over your peace. What has power over your peace? And now you're letting that out of the bag. Now let's bring it back to what do you want? What do you want to see happen here? What do you need? And what's going to get you there? What are the steps? What are the things? What is the attitude? What is the approach? What is the intention and the thought? The affirmations, the thoughts that are going to supersede the old weeds of beliefs, right? We got to weed out the old beliefs, the old fears, the old stressors. We got to pull them out. And now we're going to supersede with new thoughts, new energy, the new approach. Even when you plant the seed, you don't see anything. Nothing's happening. Is it working? Yeah, it's going to work if you keep nurturing, cultivating. It's going to work. But at first, you might not see anything. And that's why a meditation coach is there, because even when you don't see and you don't know, you keep affirming, you keep superseding, you keep planting and rooting down what you do want to see, what you intend, what you want to create. So, a meditation coach, the job of a meditation coach and what the benefit of meditation coaching is alignment. When we have limiting or negative beliefs and thoughts, we're out of alignment. These thoughts create usually negative emotions like shame, fear, guilt, sadness, anger. And so once we start to gain alignment and gain that peace independently, autonomously of whatever is happening around, once you start to show people how to resource themselves and gain back their peaceful, powerful center to release fear, then now they're free to do anything because it's not attached to conditions and outcomes and has to be this way or that way. They're open. They have the intention. Now they're open and they're present. But those weeds, they trap energy. They're like energy traps. So we want to make sure that we're like releasing those traps. We're letting the energy flow and we're planting the garden intentionally. So a lot of what's happened with people is that their space is just chaotic and they just feel fragmented and they feel all over the place and they're distracted because their space is being dictated by the external, right? We wake up, there's social media, there's the news. They have no control over that. It's all being consumed. And so what meditation coaching is setting that intentional sacred space of the individual for what they really need, for what is going to help them nourish and grow. What is going to help this person nourish and grow and reach their true spiritual and personal potential? How are we planting this garden? It's not like a plot of dirt out on the street, what people can have any which way with it. No, we're going to make some boundaries here. We're going to put a fence up that's needed, keep the vermin out. We'll start the day by watering. And how do you water? We cycle those affirmations. Affirmations is one of the most powerful ways to set chakra and energy flow. So meditation coaching is about raising awareness to create alignment within the individual for the purpose of self realization, for the purpose of self actualization. That is meditation coaching. The benefits are you feel calmer, you feel lighter, you feel more free and flexible and open and easygoing. You're not as stressed. You know how to release stress easily. You know how to regulate yourself, your body, your emotions. You have the tools for that. And that is the benefit of meditation coaching. Nice, Tomas. We all do. Awesome. I mean, and this is for you too, you guys. Like when you're gripping around something, when you're gripping and you're like your mind is going and it's spinning out, that's when you're going to stop, drop into the earth, get connected, get rooted, and start asking, what am I holding on to? What are the thoughts? What are the feelings? What are the beliefs? What am I cycling here? And what do I want to feel about this? What do I want in this? Do I even want this? What I often find is people are like grasping in desperation around things that they don't even want, but they're expected. They think somehow in their mind they created an expectation that they should be doing that, and they should be fulfilling this role. They should be pleasing that person and making sure they're okay. So that's how meditation coaching empowers us, is we can capture in those moments of stress and anxiety how we're holding that within our own psyche, our consciousness, release it easily, notice our thoughts, our beliefs, our sensations, and then bring in the new, or just if at first, be neutral. Just be neutral, release the charge. Release the charge for a moment, and then say, well, how would I like to approach this? Who do I want to be in this? Who am I? And then go. That's the power of combining meditation, coaching, and energy healing.